Hello. Hello. All right. You guys know I love a little tier list, and you guys know that occasionally I love making my own tier list and going a little overboard. That's a lot. That's a lot of horror movies from the 21st century, 2000 to 2021. Oh dear. Monster House is S tier? Well, you know, I'm not gonna lie, that sounds slightly generous. Hiya, Mary, how's it going? We've got a lot here, guys. I made the list myself. It's got a lot. It's not got everything. If you tried to put everything on this, we would be here all night, and I don't want to be. Jeepers Creepers is S tier? It's not. Tis not. You take that back. No way. Jeepers Creepers. Ugh. Look, right, we got 7 tiers, right? We got 104, I think it's 141 films actually in the end. I think I left something off and went, oh crap. And I mean, like you could say like things as we go through this that I've left off. I know I've left off things. There's some franchises that I put all 3 Conjuring films in. I didn't put like every Saw film in. It just seems unnecessary. I can't believe they race swapped Batgirl in the DCU. Why not? They do it a lot these days. Never surprises me anymore. Yeah, there are a lot of examples of that where I haven't put in everything from a franchise, but I've tried to put in something from a franchise at least, you know, like I put in Scream 4. I think I did put in all of the Purge movies. Just, it's odds and ends in terms of franchises, you know, because some of them there are, like Saw, there's like 10 in the 21st century, but ugh, how dare you, I'm unsubscribing. Jeepers Creepers is my favourite horror movie, just thought I liked your channel. I mean, Jeepers Creepers, ugh, favourite horror movie, ouch, wow, whoa. You should do a Spider-Man fan cast. I did a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse fan cast a while back. I haven't done an actual just Spider-Man one, coming up to No Way Home. It's probably a good idea, yeah. Sounds interesting. Right, we need something on each tier. Okay. Wicker Man, F tier. Wicker Man, is it a problem that Jeepers Creepers is my favorite? I didn't say anything. I don't think I said anything. I was surprised. But everybody's got their own favorite horror movie. So that's fine. The Wicker Man sucks. I don't even like the original Wicker Man, but the Nicolas Cage, the not the bees thing, that's oh dear, you know, oh dear. He's such a harsh tier to put something on. I think like Rubber. Now, on the box for Rubber, for the DVD of Rubber, it says the best killer tire movie you'll ever see. And to its credit, that is true. It is the best killer tire movie I've ever seen. However, it suck. It's meant to be like a horror comedy, but it's not. It went like one level of like meminess too deep and became just kind of crap. Bro, Jeeper Creeper is awful. Okay, well, I didn't say that. Amari said that. It wasn't me. I didn't say that. Oh. Anyway. D tier. Oof. D tier. Something like Knock Knock. I don't know if you've ever seen Knock Knock. And with Anna de Armas getting so big recently, it's actually interesting to look back at. But basically, Keanu Reeves is home alone. And these 2 women, soaking wet, very attractive, turn up at his door and ask if they can use his phone. And then they use his shower. And then they have sex with him. And then they kind of just tie him to a chair and laugh about how they're going to, like, murder him or something. And it goes on for a long time. It's not good. Oh, God. Don't fight in chat, guys. Jeepers Creepers is a maybe slightly polarizing movie, at least, right? Okay. A C tier. C tier. Interesting. You know what? Insidious is one of those, like, it came out at that time for me, like, 2010. I was, what, 2010? 14, so I was kind of just getting to the stage where I could get into 15 movies, and I think I saw Insidious and I was like, I enjoyed it a lot. And watching it back more recently, it's not as good. I still enjoy it well enough, so I think like Insidious on a C is fair. I'll give it to it. A B tier. Not a lot of these. Actually, you know what? This is a little bit, is it really? But I really like The Babysitter. I really like The Babysitter a lot more than I should. So I might give it a B tier. It's actually a really fun time. It's a very interesting horror comedy. I personally think Insidious is overrated. Yeah, I think people do rate it very highly. And I wouldn't watching it back, but it's still got some nostalgia for me, and I do still think it's pretty enjoyable. It's pretty enjoyable. The sequels, less so. Don't think I put them on this, but an A tier, right? Oh, I'm going to give The Night House an A tier. This is very new. A lot of you probably won't have seen this yet. The Night House, I actually like The Babysitter as well. Yeah, I think it's really fun. As a Netflix, like, horror comedy is something Netflix actually does quite well. They did, like, Little Evil. I don't think I put that on this, but, like, that's quite good as well. And I can't think of too many more they've tried to do, but I like those. The Night House is just out like last month or something, as a wide release anyway, and it was really good. Rebecca Hall starring it. She's so good. It's so terrifying. It actually gripped me with terror in a way that very few films do. And I do think it's got like rewatchability. That's something about these, you know. I think we can all agree Freddy vs. Jason is the best movie next to Son of the Mask. You mean the best movie ever next to Son of the Mask? Or what? Yeah, I really like The Night House, actually. What's an S tier? Train to Busan, right? We'll talk a little bit in this, because I haven't seen every great foreign horror movie. Nobody has. You know, even the big fancy people who pretend they haven't. But Train to Busan is one I saw a few times now, and I really love it. If you haven't seen it, it's just zombies, mostly on a train in Korea. It's a Korean movie, and it's whoa. I think we can all agree Son of the Mask is a masterpiece. Sorry. Well, that's an interesting point. Okay, so we got something on each tier, right? We're just going to start going through it now. Sinister is something that, again, like Insidious, I probably like less each time I see it. I can probably kind of go, oh, it is a bit like overrated, but I do still enjoy it quite well. It's definitely worth a C. I don't know if it's worth a B, but it is worth a C. I do like it. Hi, my Jake boy. Hi. Hello. Scary movie again. I'm joking about Son of the Mask. Oh, I know. I mean, I thought I knew. I'm relieved to hear it said out loud. Scary Movie is so exactly what it wanted and needed to be, you know? I kind of want to give it like a... It's again, like it doesn't deserve a B, but... I do, it's a comfort kind of guilty pleasure one, you know, for a lot of people, I feel. Sequels, well, number 2, actually. Number 2 still got a lot of fun stuff about it that I like, but yeah, the first one it's the best. Why Tuesday again? I'm just kind of here. Just kind of here on Tuesdays for tier list right now. I don't know, I feel it. Resident Evil is another one. Like, none of the Resident Evil films are good films, but I enjoy pretty much all of them. There's like 6, and I kind of just enjoy them all. It's the definition of like turn off your brain and enjoy it kind of thing. I can't give it higher than a C, but I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it more than it deserves. Yeah. Underworld is a better film. And I probably do like it more than Resident Evil, but like, yeah. There is a wide variety of things here. We do have quite a variety of stuff here. I like the first Resident Evil film. Yeah, it is fun. It is. It's likable. Even today, it's nice to watch it back. Van Helsing is a terrible film. We're talking about guilty pleasure ones. It's such a guilty pleasure for me, but it is an awful film. But oh, you gotta love it, right? And that's another like vampire werewolf based one that Kate Beckinsale starred in, huh? Speciality for her. I'm gonna give it a C because I can't bring myself to go higher. It is bad, but it's Hugh Jackman. He's Van Helsing. He's got this crossbow, like fires automatically. It's insane. It's really insane, but you gotta love it. Monster House is fun. You know what? I didn't like Monster House the first time I saw it, but it has grown on me. I do enjoy it quite a bit. I haven't put many like family horror or animated horror kind of ones on here. These two might be the majority of it, but I do like Monster House. You know what? I'll give it the B. That's kind. I'll give it the B. Why not? Yeah, screw it. Coraline, I don't like so much. Yeah. I don't know. Firstly, it feels weird for kids, right? Like, who was making a kids movie animating those giant women's jiggling tits? Like, you know, it's... I liked your Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse fan cast. If I were casting an older Mary Jane Watson, I would definitely have Karen Gillan, and for a younger Mary Jane Watson, Sadie Sink. Yeah, that's all seems fair enough. Paranorman? Yeah, Paranorman, Frankenweenie, kind of ones that I think I might have missed out on. Problem is, there's 140 here, guys. This is going to take a couple hours. I just had to stop putting films on at some stage. I think I got the majority of iconic horror ones, and then kind of comedy horror, maybe missed a couple, and family horror, maybe missed a couple. Coraline is good. I don't know. Coraline is weird for me. It's a bit too, like, what's happening here for me. It's kind of all over the place. I'll give it a D. I definitely prefer Monster House. I could be maybe argued higher, but I'll give it a D. Black Sheep is a New Zealand film which is about zombie sheep. And it's actually really, really funny. I really, really like it. I, again, like, feel like there's just going to be so many in all of these tiers. Even if we evened it out, it'd be 20 in each tier. I'm just waiting to see where you put Jeepers Creepers. Oh. Whoops. Anyway, I Am Legend is very good. It holds up quite well. 2 and A, you know, maybe 2 and A. I could maybe give it an A. I do like it a lot. I'm not a Will Smith fan. You know, in general, there are a lot of his films that I don't really enjoy the style of and stuff. But I Am Legend is just very good. The dog, the style of the creatures, the loneliness. Oh God, it's good. It's good. Jennifer's Body is something that I only actually saw this recently for the first time. I've got to do a 1-minute review for it because people talk about this a lot today, and appreciate it a lot more than they used to. I agree. It's a very fun take on a lot of films, a lot of those kind of demonic possession films. It's a very funny version of those. The worst part about I Am Legend is when the dog dies. Dude, don't be throwing spoilers out there for all these films. Who knows what people have seen and haven't. I'm trying to avoid them as much as I can while kind of talking about why I like it or don't. But yes, you're right. that is. Oh. Jennifer's Body, I think, is the kind of film that in another 5 years people will go, actually, is this that good? Like, it is fun. I do like it. I do think it's by far the best Megan Fox performance I've ever seen. But it's kind of still like maybe a C for me. I don't think I would be bothered putting it much higher. I get why people like it so much. But I also think, like, okay, but, like, that's just overcompensating slightly now, right? Like, people are kind of going, like, too far into the, oh, I love this zone, when they don't need to go that far into it. This is the uninvited, but this is the American one. There are a couple of Korean movie remakes, you know, like the whole J-horror thing. Americans remade a lot of those in, like, the noughties. They're still doing it. But in the noughties, they remade quite a few of these. And I've got, like, a couple of the American remakes on, a couple of the originals on. It's mostly dependent on what just I'd seen, you know, but yeah. I mean, if I'd put everything that I could think of that I could have put on, there'd be like 250 films and we'd be here forever. The Uninvited remake is bad. Yeah. Human Centipede is bad, yeah. Yeah, no, it's not good, no. My Bloody Valentine is pretty bad. It's kind of a very generic slasher. They were trying basically to come up with, like, a new slasher that they could turn into a franchise. You know, it's a miner. He's got a pickaxe. That's different to, like, Freddy or Jason or anything, right? I don't think it's as bad as some people think it is. It's pretty bad. But it's kind of okay. Freddy vs. Jason is a lot of fun. It is. It's probably worth the B. Look, it's interesting because they had to make Jason Voorhees into a good guy. You know, they had to make one of them a good guy, and it was easier to make Jason into a good guy, so they did it. It was weird. Disney Villains live action cast. Oh, fan cast for all, like, Disney Villains. Yeah, I mean, that could be done. That'd be interesting. The only part of Jennifer's Body I remember is Kyle Gallner's character. Oh, yeah. It is an interesting film. I rewatched it. Well, I watched it for the first time, in fact, just very recently. And I just think, like, yeah, no, I get it. I don't know why people would hate on this, but I don't know why they'd get that excited about it either, honestly, you know? Legion is bad. But it's a film that I can rewatch a lot, actually. So it can't be that bad. It's not good. But it is the kind of thing that I could see myself giving a D to. It's a D that I would kind of almost guilty pleasure into like a C. But even when I rewatched it, I'm kind of like, no, this is bad. But I have rewatched it a strangely high number of times for a film that's not that good. Weird. Just something that's on TV a lot, I guess, or something like that. Scream 4... I love Scream a lot. I've talked about this pretty recently when I did the Scream Fadcast. Think good guy is a strong term. What? I personally think Cloverfield is A or B. Well, oh right, Jason. Yeah, but he kind of, it's like he's like made into like an anti-hero or something, you know? Like it's weird. Like as much as he is still like killing people, like you know, because it kind of had to do one of them as the good guy. Same as Alien versus Predator. They made Predators into the good guy. Like it, you got to do that. You got to do that when you do a versus like that. Scream 4 is fine. I enjoy it more than maybe Scream 2 or 3. It's not like phenomenal, but it is fun. I'm kind of worried that Scream 5 is just going to feel very similar. I don't know. Wrong Turn I hate. I hate all Wrong Turn movies. I hate all of them. I've not seen the new one. The very brand new one. That just came onto Netflix here, so I might get a chance to see that soon. But I watched Wrong Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, they're all bad. I hate them all so much. I like Eliza Dushku, actually, who starred in the original, but I hate the film, yeah. Are any of the horror remakes on there? No, there's some horror remakes on here, I think. Not everyone, again, because, God, so many. But there's some throughout this. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here, dude. It's, oh, God. World War Z I like. I actually like World War Z a lot. It kind of, I feel like it gets forgotten about. I don't think it's forgettable, though. I really enjoy it. It's one of my higher tier Brad Pitt performances, and I just thought it was a really good take on, like, zombies in general. You know? Yeah. That walk towards the camera thing is really... Okay, I like that, apparently. The Suspiria remake is... It's well done, but it's not something I like. We'll find this as we go throughout this list more and more. Just because better than the alternative doesn't mean he's the good guy. But he is the good guy by default because he's better than the alternative. Like, that is what it boils down to in those films. Like, the human characters that there are on the side are cheering for the Predator. They're cheering for Jason. They want him to win because Freddy is worse. Because aliens are worse, you know? Live action Fadcast. Okay. Yeah, the Suspiria one, I don't know, the remake, I don't love Dakota Johnson, so I feel like I was a bit, not against it from the start, but I was a bit like, ugh, from the start, and yeah, I've seen her in some things more recently that I've liked her more in, but that, I didn't get on board with it. The Ritual was weird. I did feel like that was quite forgetful. I kind of enjoyed it fairly well. I enjoyed the twists and turns it took. I think I saw that in cinemas, actually. But not, like, to a high degree. It is good, but, like, kind of forgettable. Or just, like, bad, but lovable is the C tier so far. Sometimes versus movies can have no good guy. Yeah, but in both those cases, I feel like they kind of did, you know? I think Jason is overrated. I like Freddy more. Dude, Friday the 13th is classic. It's the big one. Halloween is so all over the place. And Nightmare on Elm Street's good as a franchise. I do like it. But Friday the 13th is, classic. Top tier. Bye Bye Man. Oof. Mother. Oof. Oh, jeez. You ever seen Mother? I think I saw that in cinemas, and it's the closest I've ever come to just walking out. That is fucking weird. I hated it so much. The Nun is not good. No. One that I thought with, that character, that scary-ass nun from the Conjuring films, maybe it might be not too bad, was pretty bad. 10 Cloverfield Lane is great. It's really good. Horror, you know, there's a lot of these films, a lot of more recent horror films, I feel like, okay, is it a horror, is it a thriller, you know? There's a lot of edging with that line throughout the 140 that I put on here, but I think they all would basically count as horror to some degree. 10 Cloverfield Lane is one that's more of a thriller, but it's scary. I mean, I know Friday the 13th is a classic, but I didn't like a lot of them. What? Come on. I think, like, they get samey, but it's a kind of samey that I like. I like being at Camp Crystal Lake. I like him going around murdering them. I think it's fun, you know. So I actually enjoyed Friday the 13th up until. I mean, I acknowledge that it was pretty stupid by the time we got to like the New Blood. Like that was the one where it was basically Jason versus Carrie. They got a character. She had telekinetic powers. All of a sudden, she was basically Carrie. That was bad, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of just memey at that point. And then Jason Takes Manhattan, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. Those were bad, yeah. I like Jason Takes Manhattan. Oh my god. Greatest Showman live action cast? I do like The Greatest Showman, that's true. Curse of Ya Llorona, same as The Nun in terms of Conjuring verse, even though La Llorona's not really. It's kind of on the edge of being on the Conjuring verse. Yeah, I mean, it's probably even lower than The Nun, honestly. I could rewatch The Nun. I think I do not want to I don't want to see Ya Llorona again. That's bad. Escape Room. I don't know, there's a video on this channel somewhere where I rank every movie called Escape Room, because it became a craze, and somebody made a really bad movie called Escape Room in like 2017, and then somebody made a really bad movie called Escape Room in 2018. I didn't put those on this list. This is the Escape Room from 2019. It was actually enjoyable. I liked it. I might give that as high as a B. I thought that was a lot of fun, actually. The Turning. I don't know if anybody's seen The Haunting of Bly Manor, but that's based on a book called The Turn of the Screw. Very old book, very like gothic book, very good book. And I really liked the adaptation and the differences that we had in The Haunting of Bly Manor. The Turning came out around the same time as The Haunting of Bly Manor and was just awful. It's just so terrible. It's the worst thing. It's one of the worst mainstream horror movies I've seen in cinema ever. So, yeah. I voted for Creature Feature. Oh, you're watching the first King Kong film now. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Creature Features would be fun to do, actually, at some point, but it doesn't really need to be Halloween for us to do that. They're not really as focused on being horror films as they are, well, nowadays on action. Obviously, some of the old Godzilla and things were also listed as horror films, but that was always kind of dodgy. Freaky was actually fun. I liked that. It was super memey, but as like a kind of in the age of like similar vein to like Happy Death Day, you know, which I enjoyed as well. I enjoyed it. It was kind of overly cheesy, overly memey at points, so I'll give it a C. Not quite a B for me maybe, but it was a lot of fun. I like Catherine Newton. I thought Vince Vaughn was very funny in it, which I don't always think. Sing live action fancast? These are interesting ideas. I gotta write some of these down somewhere. I'll have to go back through the chat after. Interesting. Old. Didn't care for Old. Didn't like Old. I don't like M. Night Shyamalan. I don't like him. I think he's so far up his own asshole. I like Split, as we'll get to later. That's on this somewhere, I think. But Unbreakable and Glass, alright. Sixth Sense, good the first time you watch it. It's okay after that. And I mean, a lot of his other films are just total garbage. And I thought Old was real sucky ass balls dick. Jason Takes Manhattan is good when Jason is actually in Manhattan. You mean the like 5 minutes at the end that he's in Manhattan for? Takes the whole film getting there. Yet I'm watching it because October. Well, yeah, I mean, no, you can like count a lot of these older creature features as horror movies, but like a lot of the time, partly because they're old. You know, the original King Kong doesn't really feel like a horror movie now. And partly just because they're not really focused on horror in the same way. Also, be watching Gojira and Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Godzilla vs. Destroyer, classic. Malignant was another one, recent. I was really excited for James Wan returning to horror, and it kind of felt like he was still trying to make like a superhero movie, or like a kind of anti-hero movie, or like a super villain movie or something. It felt like it was a mix of like Aquaman and The Conjuring. It was bizarre. It had a lot of stuff from all of his previous films mixed in there. I did enjoy it. I'm still struggling to tell to what degree. It was weird. I'll give it maybe like a C. We're putting down a lot of C's earlier. Candyman. Oh, yes, the end of Jason Takes Manhattan is the best part of the film. Oh yeah, I can agree with that. I think it's back to a fairly enjoyable level when he is in Manhattan, but the rest of it's just shit. Candyman, yeah, I didn't like this as much as some people did. I thought it was a social issue film. It wasn't a horror film. It's not really a horror film. It's a weird anti-hero supervillainy kind of film, similar to *Malignant*, but I kind of liked the way *Malignant* did it more. *Candyman*, yeah, I couldn't get into it. It just had so many weird subplots that went nowhere and things that just annoyed me. I'll give it a D. I didn't think it was awful, but I'll give it a D. Escape Room 2 came out this year as well. We've got quite a few that came out this year. I liked Escape Room 2. I still thought it did well. Did everything it needed to. Kind of getting to the point where if they do a third one, it's just going to be silly and dumb. But for now, I'll give that a C as well. This is a lot of C's. Yeah. I actually thought the original Candyman was boring. I quite like the original Candyman, but I don't think it's like huge. Like, obviously, it's not from the 21st century, but if it was, like, I'd give it like a B. Like, I wouldn't. Some people really love it, and I don't think so. But I acknowledge that it is good. It is a good watch. Fear Street is, I think, pretty much the best thing that's happened to horror this year. I really enjoyed Fear Street as a trilogy. I just sat down. I was on holiday when they came out, but I came back, sat down and watched them all in one evening. It was a lot of fun. It was really enjoyable, and I liked the way it unwinded. Pretty much just at the stage where I'm just going to put them all on A, honestly. Like, you can see my ranking of them on the channel. I think the second one's my favorite because it was more a take on like that, like kind of 80s slasher style. Part one was kind of all over the place and very mysterious and stayed very mysterious. So I think it's my least favorite. But yeah, I like them all a lot. I think they are all like really good. I actually, I love you. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Army of the Dead, again. I don't feel like we're getting into some of my pet peeves here. I don't love Zack Snyder. I don't love him. I appreciated his version of the Justice League. I appreciated a lot about it. There were also things that I thought were really over the top. I hate the vast volume of slow motion he does. Army of the Dead, I didn't really hate it, but it was dumb. I'll maybe go a D, which is kind, honestly, yeah. I'm not really looking forward to they're doing like something that's coming out like this week, actually. I think it's like Army of Thieves. It's kind of a prequel. Don't really know what that's going to be like either. Have you done or ever thought about doing a Marvel movie tier list? I have, actually. I like to see where you put Ghost Rider. I think I put it on like a C or something. Like I still enjoy the first Ghost Rider. I did do that. Yeah, you can look it up. We've got quite a lot of tier lists now. Various different things. Your Next is fun. I do like it, actually. I maybe like it more than it deserves. But people seem to. People seem to like it a lot, and I kind of go, well, I feel like it's a bit dumb in a way, but like I do enjoy it. Till Death. We talked about Jennifer's Body. Now we get to talk about Megan Fox and her revival in her career recently. She's been in a few things that she's led recently. Just coming back a bit. But they're not good. The Army one she didn't like it. And Till Death, it's just a very basic thriller. It just feels so basic. I thought she was actually pretty good in it. I actually enjoyed her, but I didn't think it was good. It's kind of E's slightly harsh, but I didn't think it was good. Mulan live action cast, yeah, that's one of the big Disney ones I'm still missing. Yeah, I've got to get to that at some point. It's difficult with like I don't know a lot of like specifically Chinese actors, like Chinese American actors and things. Sure, but a lot of like Chinese American actors were actually in the live action one they just did, so it's kind of awkward. Have you seen Halloween Kills? You know what? I haven't. There's so many things coming into the cinema right now, and with the move and stuff over to Scotland, I've kind of fallen behind on going to the cinema. So because I wanted to, I'm waiting on like doing reviews for the new Halloweens and things until next year when Halloween Ends comes out. Kind of thought I should wait for that. I haven't bothered going to see Halloween Kills yet. I'm trying to see things that I am actually trying to get out reviews for, but interested. Doesn't seem like people are loving it much. Yeah, so I don't know. Black Swan is very good. It's It is kind of weird to describe it as a horror film, but it kind of is. I feel like everything Darren Aronofsky touches is kind of a horror film, at least. I will give it an A. I rewatched it again a couple years ago, maybe, and thought, like, yeah, actually, it's better than I initially thought it was. I think I was so hyped for it the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, no, alright, it's fine, but yeah, I've learned to appreciate it more. Scotland, I've always wanted to go there. It's a lovely place. I live in Edinburgh now. It is great, but it has caused quite some disruption on the channel this month, moving over, I admit. It's kind of getting settled down again now, but it has taken some time. 28 days later, I mean, ooh, might only give it an A. I was about to say maybe it's an S, but I might only give it an A. I definitely think, like, Train to Busan's maybe just my favorite, like, zombie film ever. I think it's so good. It's so well done. 28 Days Later is very good. It ages quite quickly, the cinematography, I feel. But I do like it a lot. It is very good. Inside Out live action cast. True. Not done that. Would be easy. Well, not easy, but, like, yeah. I can see it in my head kind of very quickly. That one. 28 Weeks Later, I still thought was fine. It's still fine, but it's not great. It's kind of like maybe a slightly generous C, actually. I hate these social media and, like, computer-based horrors. There's so many of them. Unfriended is a big one. They also, there was one came out a couple years ago, and I hated that as well, just so much. But this kind of, like, happening in real time, like, oh, wait, what's going on? Who's in the call? Oh, gosh. Oh, they're killing us off one by one. I thought it was dumb. Not really badly done, but pretty badly done. The Neon Demon felt like Black Swan, except I didn't like it as much. But I still thought it was good. So it's maybe like a B. I do like Elle Fanning a lot. That helped it, but it's maybe a C. It's kind of on the edge. I always wanted to go to Scotland to see Loch Ness. I've been there, actually. It took me a long time after I came here for university to finally go to Loch Ness, because it is, like, I mean, most of the population of Scotland is in, like, Edinburgh, Glasgow kind of region, quite southern, and then the Highlands are north, and it's quite a drive to get up to, like, Loch Ness from here, but it is fun. Unfriended is trash? True. All those kind of, like, hyper-modernized horror films generally think they're smarter than they are. Mulholland Drive is something that it gets hyped up a lot, and I do think it's good. I don't really love it, but I kind of respect it enough to maybe give it a B. This list is coming together quite quickly, gosh. I'm going through these rapidly because I know that it could take like 4 hours otherwise. Hereditary, again, how much do you like it? Nobody likes it, right? Nobody likes Hereditary. You respect Hereditary for being freaky as hell. Ari Aster's style, that and Midsommar. I don't like those films. I think they're very well made. They're very good. I don't want to see them again. So I always find it awkward, like, talking about them and marking them. I think Hereditary is maybe like a C, because it was like 2 out there and like all over the place. Midsommar's better. Actually, no, you know what? I'll give this the B. Because I do think I'll go higher with Midsommar. Happy Death Day I really like. It's kind of dumb. Moana live action cast, that's true. I believe in the Loch Ness Monster. Well, I mean, it's interesting, they talk about not being able to see the bottom of the loch and stuff, but you... I don't know. It seems unlikely, doesn't it? But you never know. Happy Death Day, yeah, gotta give... Similar level to The Babysitter, actually, I'd say. Yeah. I really like Happy Death Day. I think it's so much fun. It just has so much fun with it. It's just such a made for enjoyment kind of cinematic horror comedy. I really liked it a lot. Sinister. Oh, wait. Oh, that's the poster for Sinister 2. Sorry, that's Sinister. Well, Sinister's a C. Sinister 2 is probably a D. I didn't actually think it was much worse. I thought it was interesting where they went with it, and I like the fact kind of that it ended there and they didn't keep going. I mean, they probably just couldn't get the money to keep going, Don't think it made a lot, but yeah, I was okay with Sinister 2. Don't think it's great. Us is great. Us is really great. Us is an A. We're being very stingy with S's here, I noticed, but Us is another, like, A. It's another one that's like there. What do you like better, the first King Kong or the first Godzilla? Oh, first Godzilla, I think, yeah. I do think both are still pretty reasonable watches, which is surprising for King Kong especially, since is coming up on 90 years old. But the first Godzilla is just, it's so well done. It's so well done. I love it. Coco live action cast. These are a lot of interesting ideas, actually. Wow, Jake, you're coming out with them today. Personally, I like Godzilla more. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Nessie is an eel because they've conducted tests and come back with a lot of eel DNA in the log. Never know. Could be. Before I Wake is interesting. It's one that people maybe hype up more than I think it deserves. God, that's so many C's already. But yeah, I do think it is. Piranha 3D is dumb as shit. It's kind of almost to the point where it's so, like, bad it's funny, but, like, not quite. Not quite. Memories of Murder. Oh, man. You know, that might be it. That might be an S. This is another Korean-made film, actually. Or wait, sorry. Train to Busan and Memories of Murder. They're both Korean, yeah. As much as we talk about, like, J-horror and, like, how good, like, Japanese horror is, Korean, they coming through, man. And this was Bong Joon-ho who made Parasite later, but this was, like, 2003. This was a long time ago, and it was... it's really, really good. He is a very, very good filmmaker. I don't really love Snowpiercer, the film. I think it's okay, but his is more, like... His actual, like, Korean language ones, I really love. I thought that was so good. Drag Me to Hell, again. I love Piranha 3D, really. I can see people loving it in a kind of like, oh, it's so bad, it's lovable kind of way. In a way that I do for some others. That some people would say that's just bad, but yeah, it's kind of, it's insane. Drag Me to Hell is kind of, people hype that up a lot too. I don't like it. I think it's just kind of eye-rolly, like, by that stage demon stuff, you know? I'd give that like a D, actually. It's kind of a controversial opinion, I think, but I think 2007 Halloween is better than 1978. It's kind of 1978 Halloween. I've talked about this recently. It ages a lot. It ages a lot to watch back today. So I think people who are only watching it for the first time today, including myself, I don't really like it much. I think it's just aged. It's just aged a lot. I think all 70s horror has, because the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is awful. I watched it for the first time recently, and I thought it was terrible. Hated it. So I get that. A Quiet Place, again, you kind of got to give it up to it, don't you? Yeah, I think I might give that the S. I don't know if I put number 2 on here. It would be more a kind of, probably still like an A, maybe a B. But the first one, oh my goodness. That is some film. That's really good. I didn't like Drag Me to Hell. I only liked it because Justin Long. Justin Long's fun. He's fun in everything. He was fun in it. But yeah, didn't like it. Wreck. God, Wreck. People like Wreck. People shouldn't like Wreck. No, I'll give it an E. not quite an F, but pretty much. Shaun of the Dead, I mean. Come at me, Scrub Lord, I'm ripped. Like, come on! Shaun of the Dead did for the horror comedy what, like, the original Halloween did for the slasher, you know? Like, it's so good. It holds up so well. I actually would prefer Hot Fuzz. Haven't put that on this list because Hot Fuzz isn't really going for horror at all, right? They're kind of all horror comedies, all three in a way, but Shaun of the Dead definitely most so. It's the only one I've put on. And it is so good. It is so good. Oculus. Oh, is this our first chance to talk about Mike Flanagan today? You guys know. If you've seen any of the other recent horror tier lists or anything, I love talking about Mike Flanagan. He is my favorite modern horror film director. And he's done a lot. He's done a lot of films, and they're all really enjoyable to watch. Oculus isn't my favorite one of his, but I would still cleanly give it a B. Easily. I think it's really good. A better horror movie with Justin Long is Jeepers Creepers. Happy Death Day to You. It kind of got overly memey at that point, but was still doing a lot of good stuff. I'll give it a C. Yeah, I still liked it. Midsommar, right. Can't give it the S. I can't do it. I can't give it an S. I give an S to films that I want to watch again or have watched countless times already, like Shaun of the Dead. Midsommar is very good, though. It's very, very good. It's, like, considering the fact that I just outright hate The Wicker Man, original and remake, it did for that kind of culty film what I always wanted The Wicker Man to be. You know? So, can't argue too much with that. Sorry if I missed your streams lately. I have school and a lot of problems going on this week. Oh, no worries, Shadow. It's not a problem, man. Don't worry about it. Don't stress. The streams are always available to watch back whenever you get a chance, or not at all, because they're pretty much daily. So, I mean, God, it's hard to keep up. Look, a live action fan cast. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You don't like Jeepers Creepers, do you? I don't. No. I'll be honest, I do not like it. I thought it had a lot going for it until he unfurled his wings, and from that moment it lost me. I do like The Witch. I do like The Witch a lot, actually. Kind of similarly to things like, well, like The Lighthouse we'll talk about, and Midsommar, that style. I don't know how many times I want to see The Witch again. Maybe more than, like, Midsommar, but it's very good. It's very good. I love Anya Taylor-Joy, just in general, so that helps. Shaun of the Dead is literally the best. True. So good. So good. Can't argue. The Host is very good. I actually probably don't like it as much. This is Bong Joon-ho again. This is a Korean film. I probably don't like it as much as Memories of Murder, so I'll rank it down a tier, but it's very good. If you ever get a chance, that is... It's weird seeing like an auteur, like a proper artistic filmmaker who can win Oscars making a monster movie. But it's very, very good, yeah. I thought the wings were cool. I like the ending as well. I couldn't get behind it. And the whole, like, sequels, no. Jeepers Creepers is a whole concept and franchise I don't really love much. Oh, Get Out's here. Oh. Get Out is one that, there are a lot of these on this list that people say it's that good. Get Out's one that, for me at least, I think it is that good. It is that, like, it's practically horror comedy again. It's practically a parody film, but it's also genuinely really scary, and it's so well done. And it's kind of, it's doing the social issue drama mixed with horror right for me. Where, like, Candyman, the new Candyman, did it, I thought, wrong. I love the way Get Out did it, so yeah. Yeah. Antichrist, fuck. If you've never watched a Lars von Trier film, it's very hard to describe Antichrist, or any of his films, really. There's a lot of real sex in them. There's a lot of just really bloody, gory, horrific, nasty stuff in there. It's just very gritty and as weird as it can manage to be, pretty much. Yeah. Antichrist, I didn't care for it, you know? Didn't care for it, really. I'll just chuck that down there. People love the way it's made, and they love Lars von Trier films, and I don't. No. I mean, it's just porn at stages, but really, really bad porn. A24, they made, like, Midsommar and Hereditary, and they make a lot of different weird films. They made The Green Knight, which I didn't care for. Saw that recently. Check out that review. I didn't see Get Out. Oh, dude, Get Out's very worth seeing. Priests and the Frog live action cast. Priests and the Frog? You what now? They also made Under the Skin, which is... a lot of people just know it as the film where Scarlett Johansson gets naked. It is that. She's basically this alien. She's wandering around, I mean, Scotland. And she's just trying to seduce men and then, like, kill them. And it's very weird. It's not... I didn't think it was great. Didn't think it was great. I thought the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was better than the original. Yeah, I would agree with that. Again, 70s horror, I think, is just aged really poorly. Some people really are into it. I love 80s horror. I think the original Nightmare on Elm Street and the original Friday the 13th are so good. Some of my favourite horror movies. The originals for both of those. But the 70s horror, just not the same. Yeah, I don't know what Priest and the Frog is. Pan's Labyrinth is another one. I don't care for the style overly. I respect it fairly well. Don't love it. I'll give it like a C. Other people would way higher, but I'll give it like a C. What We Do in the Shadows is one of the best comedy horrors in the world. It's so good. I'm almost tempted to go S. But, like, in terms of comedy horror, I've got to give Shaun of the Dead a level higher than everything else. This is that next level, though. What we do in the shadows. If you don't know, like, everybody knows Taika Waititi now, right? Everybody knows him now from Thor and Free Guy and all sorts. But oh my goodness, that was an early one. He stars in it. I think he also directed it. And was involved in the writing and stuff. And it's just about like these vampires from New Zealand who are just very chill, and it's just very, very funny. I think he meant Princess and the Frog. Oh, that's a weird autocorrect. I've done that, right? I've done Princess and the Frog as a fan cast. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is also a good horror comedy. It looks like it should be so bad. And I went in the first time expecting it was going to be awful. And then it was actually just very funny. They're both just very good in it. It's just very memey. It's kind of... It is trashy horror comedy, you know, it's like Scary Movie or something, but it's very well done, actually. It's shockingly well done. Every time I go back, I expect I'm going to like it less and less. I'm just going to slip this just in there. In terms of 21st century horror, like The Conjuring was my number one for a long time. It pretty much still is. It's very... There's a couple of others that are right up there now, but I love The Conjuring. I just think it's... I would consider it definitive, you know, in terms of like, oh, what's a really good like demonic horror film? I'd just say that. That's just immediate answer for me. I liked like Insidious and stuff until I saw this, and then I liked Insidious less because I realized how much better this was, you know? Watching June tonight? Or are you going to see it? I love June. I love the new June, guys. I'm gonna do a video. I'll do a video like tomorrow or something. I love the new June. Yeah, I love The Conjuring. I just think it's so good. I love the style of it because, like Get Out, it doesn't feel the need to try and be suspenseful and spooky all the time. It just has the tension ramping sequences. It has those jump out of nowhere moments that they get you. They still get me, some of those, where it's the things on top of the wardrobe, that fucking gets you. But it also just has those lighthearted moments, those moments where it's just this family and they come to help them and they're just all like cheerful and stuff. I love that about the style of all the Conjuring movies. I really like that. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark I never thought was that great. It grew on me on the second watch a bit, but not a lot. Is that the first Saw? I think I put Saw 1 and 2 on here. The only one's really worth seeing. I mean, whoops, nope, meant it. But I think that's the poster for the first one. So we will just... I love James Wan, you know? Malignant I was kind of so excited about because Saw I thought was that good. And Conjuring I also thought was that good. So when he came back to the horror genre to do Malignant, I was like, is it going to be that good? It wasn't that good, but I thought it was still enjoyable. Yeah. I think Saw, I mean, it is just... You know, it did for the gore genre what Shaun of the Dead did for the horror comedy, and what, I mean, The Conjuring did for the demonic horror, really, but it wasn't. Conjuring wasn't so much about trailblazing as just being like, okay, you've had your go, now let's just boink. So that's as good as it gets. The Conjuring 2, some people actually rank them like pretty similarly, 1 and 2. I do think 2 is a step down. I would still give it a clean and easy B, maybe not quite an A. It's close to an A. Because it's still got that style that I really like. It's still got a lot of good moments and stuff in it. But I did find it, like, less so, for sure. Don't know. I haven't seen it as many times as The Conjuring. But I do think, yeah, it's definitely a step down for me. And then The Conjuring 3, yeah. I still enjoyed it because I enjoy the characters and I enjoy the style. It's like a Marvel movie, you know. I'm never probably going to hate a Conjuring movie. Other movies in the Conjuring universe, sure, I can hate those. But, yeah, I thought it definitely lost something by the third one, didn't it? Yeah. Annabelle. Oh, yes, similarly. Right, so that's number 1. Yeah, Annabelle 1 suck. The point of Annabelle is it's a doll, right? It's a kid's toy. It should be scaring kids. It should be scaring children. They learned that lesson for 2 and 3. But they didn't in the first one. They were trying to scare adults with it, and it was just a mess. I didn't like it at all, no. Annabelle 2. Actually, good. Actually enjoyed it. I liked it more. That's good. But Annabelle 3, I really like. You know, I actually really like it. It's hard with Conjuring 2 on a B to give that a B. I'm very close, though. I prefer it to the second one. I prefer it to The Conjuring 3. I really liked Annabelle Comes Home. I thought it was... I like Madison Eisman, I like McKenna Grace, so that helped. But I just thought the story was simple. It was more Conjuring focused, you know, which is smart. I just thought it worked really well, and it's rewatchable, I think. Lego Supervillains live action cast? Lego Supervillains, oh, okay, that's interesting. Alright, alright. Okay, It. It. Stephen King is not often brought to the screen well, I think. You know, I think they're so good written down as books. I've read a lot of Stephen King books. I love them. I think he's a genius. A lot of the stories just are very difficult to translate to the screen. It is one of them. I liked the first one. Again, because it was scaring kids, it made it easier. I'll give it like a B. The second one is garbage. I hate it. I hate it, Chapter 2. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh, and I was getting excited. I was like, okay, they're going to do it in 2 parts. It's going to be really good. They've got a good cast of adult versions of them all. I think it's going to work out really well. I hated it. I hated it, especially the third act. Awful. The Descent's really good. If you've never seen The Descent, great British horror movie. I would actually give that an A. I think it's really good. It's just like underground cave monsters. These girls are spelunking. And it's a very early kind of all-female one. You know, it's like 2005 when it just didn't even think about it. It just went, yeah, it's just a group of girls going and they're diving into these caves and they're searching about and then they're getting murdered by these terrifying monsters in the night. It's really good. It holds up really well as well, like 16 years later. And part 2, unusually, they went and looked like they were getting greedy. Part 2, no, it felt, and it was like 4 years later. They released it in like 2009. But it was just, it very much felt like a continuation of the story in a very good way. It really worked. It almost felt like just 2 parts, and it's almost as good. You know, it's putting a tier between them is harsh, actually, because it could almost be an A as well. It's actually really good. A Cure for Wellness is dumb. I'm not a big fan of Dane DeHaan, honestly. I keep wanting to be. I wanted to be for like Valerian, because I liked Valerian. I just didn't like him. And I don't like him in that either, particularly. The Ring. Bad movie. Just bad movie. The Cabin in the Woods has grown on me, okay? Not to the degree that it's grown on some people. Some people loved it immediately, some people it's really grown on. I hated it originally, and then on rewatch I actually kind of went, I do enjoy this as like a silly take on things. Like Jennifer's Body almost, you know? I still don't think it's great though. I think it's good, solid. Dawn of the Dead, again, I don't like Zack Snyder's style. That is probably one of the few times that I kind of put up with it well enough to enjoy the film. And it was an early one, so that's probably why. Still don't feel like it's as good as some other people do. Yeah. Just Zack Snyder films in general. I really liked 300 when I first saw it when I was younger, but like watching it back even now, I'm liking it less and less. Just so much slow motion, so over the top, it tried to make every shot feel epic. Every one of his films do. But yeah. The Mist, again. That's... Yeah. Not good. Don't Breathe, some people hype up a lot. I kind of think it's fine. I don't think it's that impressive, and the third act is really just gross. It's just gross. Now this is a case. I've seen the American version of Shudder. I don't know if I put it on here, but I'm pretty sure this is the Korean one, the original. Japanese. Sorry. Yes, I think it's Japanese. It's really good. It's really good. It's about this couple. They see like things in the photographs they're taking. It's actually really well done. The American remake is bollocks, obviously. They all are. There is no good American remake. I'll give it a B. I won't go away, but it's good. It is good. Orphan is a film that I can't tell on multiple rewatches whether it's growing on me or I hate it. It is well done. It is very well done. It's interesting. It's surprising the first time you see it. And it does everything right, I feel, for the kind of creepy premise and the style it's going for. So I could give that a B. I could. Cloverfield, I don't love found footage. I don't love found footage films. I think Paranormal Activity is a pile of bollocks. I think the original Blair Witch Project is shit to watch back. Cloverfield, I think, is better. It uses the style better, I think, than those. It's still only like a C for me, honestly. Halloween Town live action fancast. Interesting. Very interesting. I do like Halloween Town. It's trashy, but I like it. Family Guy live action fancast is more tricky. Like that in The Simpsons and stuff, it's just so hard to like picture that in live action. I don't know if I want it. I think I talked about the Babadook last week. I don't like the Babadook. Some people get really into the Babadook. I just like saying Babadook. I don't like the Babadook though. It's kind of like, it's like a D. It's not that bad. It Follows, I hate. Some people think it's one of the best 21st century horror films. I think it is garbage. I think it's so bad. I think it's just such another basic take on a demon thing. But it's all like, oh, it's like it's an STD, the demon. You just pass it on and on, right? Shit. I hated it. I saw it. Objectively shit. To me. I thought it was bad. Real bad. Real bad. The Lighthouse is another one of these ones. It was made by Robert Eggers, who had already made The Witch. And it's another one that is... like, I don't want to watch it again. Like, it's freaky in the style. It's black and white. It's just these two guys. It's really well done. But it's just weird. Really weird. Doesn't make a lot of sense on the surface. It's another A24 film. A24 films don't make sense on the surface. You have to be really paying attention, really like dig 10 layers deep into what they're actually saying to get any story out of it whatsoever. And that's fine to a degree, but I prefer there to be something going on top of that. And The Lighthouse is getting closer than some of those other ones to the stage where there's not actually anything happening on the surface. You really have to dig down to like it. Ju-on, the original Grudge, the original Japanese Grudge film. Don't know if I put on any of the American ones, but they're all bad. They're all really bad. The 2020 one, the 2020 Grudge film, is one of the worst horror films I ever saw in cinema. The original Grudge is good. I don't think it's like outright classic. It's considered such a like classic thing, that and like The Ring, and I never thought any of the films for any of them were that incredible. Bones live action fancast. That's interesting. That's interesting. Ready or Not is one of these fun, like, people hunting you films, and it was quite a good version of it. I love Samara Weaving. She was also in The Babysitter. So, like, she's just, for me, like, the queen of, like, the horror comedy. It's really specific, but I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. I will go B. I will go for a B. I really liked it. It's just this rich family, and she's, like, getting married to one of them, and then she spends her wedding night getting hunted, basically, and it's just a lot of fun. Final Destination. I don't think I put all the sequels on here, rest assured. I just generally think they get worse as it goes on. And then 5 is up better again, but first one, original, it still holds up as very fun. Kind of a B. Yeah, don't think I can go higher. Krampus is A tier for me. I just saw Krampus for the first time last Christmas, and it is the kind of one that's like, it's fun enough that I would be happy enough to make it like a fixture, something I watch every year, How high does that translate to? I don't know. Hush is Mike Flanagan again, and he keeps casting, I'm pretty sure Kate Siegel is his wife, and she just stars in pretty much everything he does. And she's playing a deaf woman in a home invasion film. And it's so well done. It's so well done. It's actually... It's an A. It's an A tier. I really loved it. I thought it was so good. You just gotta watch it. I think it's available on Netflix around the UK. Free Guy live action podcast. A bit soon after to be trying one, but yeah, you never know. The Evil Dead remake... I gotta give them credit. I kind of was like, when I went in to watch it, actually, well done. They did it well. I enjoyed it. Maybe only to the tune of a C. Maybe not as good as some people say it is, but yeah, I did like it. Life was just an Alien ripoff. I liked Ryan Reynolds, I liked Jake Gyllenhaal, I liked Rebecca Ferguson, but it's just a it's just an Alien ripoff, and yeah, it's not very good. Slither is an early James Gunn film, actually. He went on to do Guardians of the Galaxy and The Suicide Squad, which are incredible. I love his style. I love his meminess. Slither is super weird, but it is a good horror comedy. It's like a C, again. We've got a lot of C's. Now it happens. You know, I see Jeepers Creepers. Oh, is it coming? Oh, well, whoops. The Woman in Black. Nothing special about that, really. Dead Snow. Dead Snow is very interesting. When I moved into high school, I loved Call of Duty. I got my Xbox 360. I was so excited. I've never been as excited for anything as I was for getting an Xbox 360. And then the games that came with it were like a bad racing game and like Sonic Tennis or something, you know. So when I got Call of Duty World at War and I played Nazi Zombies for the first time, late at night, alone in the room, scared shitless, you hear that scream at the start of like the first ever Nazi Zombies map. That is terrifying. So then a couple of weeks later, I go down to Extravision. That's right, when Extravision was still a thing. And I find this Nazi Zombies movie, and I got it, and I loved it. And then I watched it again a few years later, and I went, nope, you know what? It's still a lot of fun. It's not really good, but it's a lot of fun. I really like Dead Snow. I'm going to give it a B. It's a Nazi zombie film. It doesn't take itself seriously. It is kind of comedic. And I thought it was really funny. And it is a German film. Or Austrian. It's in German, I think. But it is really fun. Split is the one M. Night Shyamalan film I like. Or really enjoy. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy and James McAvoy. I love them. You know, it's a great cast, and I love the style of it. I love the idea. It is close to an S, but it might just be an A. I think it's really good. It's really good on rewatch. Wow. Wow. James McAvoy. So good. The Velocipaster is the best, worst film in the world, okay? It's really cheaply made. It's about a priest who goes to China and gets, his blood gets mixed with, a velociraptor's claw, and he turns into a dinosaur. Like a werewolf, but with a dinosaur. And it's a giant inflatable, dinosaur suit, T-Rex suit, not a velociraptor suit. And it knows, it's trying to be really, really bad. And as such, it's unironically become one of, a film I love. I have to give it an F because it's so bad. But I love that film. If you ever get a chance to see The Velocipaster, see it. It's that bad because it's that good at being that bad. You know what I mean? It's so good, it's amazing. Or so bad, it's amazing. But it wants to be. The director is, actually really smart and that was his intention. It's hard to explain. There's ninjas, and they want to sell lots of heroin to people and then cut them off so that they go to church-led help groups. It's great. it's so good. If Jeepers Creepers is any lower than D.I. Riot, we could maybe put it on D, I don't know. Lights Out, not great. Not great. It was based on a short horror movie that should have stayed as a short horror movie. The Visit is M. Night Shyamalan. Creepy grandparents. Not good. Not good. No. Mama. Some people like Mama a lot. I don't. I just don't. I was wondering why D was so much emptier than B and C and A. Well, no, it's about the same as A. We're finding them now. All of those, just straight up. Not very good. Watchable, but not very good. I don't like Mama. Krampus is a lot of fun. I enjoyed Krampus a lot. Maybe just a B. It's kind of so silly, but I really like Adam Scott. He's really good at horror comedies. He was also in Little Evil on Netflix. Really good in them. And I just like the cast in general. It's just a very fun cast put together. And it was, more brutal than I expected it to be. And, also has the kind of Christmassy happy ending behind it. I like a lot about this film. Well, kind of happy ending. It's kind of, yeah, it's a bit Inception-y, what the hell's going on there. But I like it, but it's kind of a B. Maybe not quite an A. Dead Silence is dumb as shit. Bad. Not that bad. But like a D again, yeah. You know what? I'll put Jeepers Creepers on D. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like the promise it had, the start, the style, but it's kind of a take on something like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, they're just driving around and then they run into this guy. It's just a take on that kind of film, and that is one of my least favorite horror subgenres, is that Texas Chainsaw style. I don't like Wrong Turn. I don't like Jeepers Creepers. I do like Justin Long. I like the pair of them. But yeah, I can't get behind it on rewatch either. You're safe for now. Okay, I'll take it. Hostel. Don't like Hostel. No. Same as Wreck. Don't like it. Some people are really into that style. Not me. Saw 2. You know what? Where do I put Saw on S? I'll put Saw 2 on a B. I actually think it's really well done as a sequel. You know, Donnie Wahlberg, don't love him as a lead, but he worked in that kind of shitty cop style, and we got to actually sit down with Jigsaw, and that's the one where he talks the most, and it's just really well done. And the whole horror house thing in it is really good as well. So, actually, it's like an A. It is, honestly. I think people forget because Saw went on so long and is still with Spiral. Jesus. Still going. Saw 2 is actually also like a classic. It's like a banger. Swallow, I enjoyed. I can't remember the name of the person who directed it, but that style is similar to like Mike Flanagan, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It's about a woman who basically becomes obsessed with trying to swallow inedible objects and things, and like it's really weird, but I thought the style was very good. Obviously, Jeepers Creepers 2 and 3 aren't that good. Yeah, definitely not. If they were on the list, they'd be lower. Well, actually, I don't know. 2, honestly. It was dumb, but I kind of enjoyed the style of it and the whole like bus just going through the countryside thing enough that it'd probably be on about the same tier for me. 3, not lower. His House was something that people were saying, oh, it's this great like British horror film, really unique style. And again, it's like a social issue drama one that isn't really much of a horror film. Like it's got stuff going on, haunted house style, but for me, I just thought again, like it's just doing the same thing. It's trying to make a point to be like scary and therefore be validated, and come on. American Psycho, I don't like as much as some other people do. I'd give it like a C. Some people are really into it, scarily into it, unnervingly into the style of Patrick Bateman. I think it's fine. I do like Patrick Bateman as a character. I do think it's a very interesting, different style of film. But I don't know. It's just too into itself in a way, you know? Like Patrick Bateman, ironically. Goofy live-action podcast or Goofy movie? That's got to be difficult to do. Oh, we've got all the purges here, actually. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll put the first one on a D. Second one, Purge Anarchy, very good. Like a B. I don't think any of them are really like an A, honestly. Maybe Election Year. Election Year is about as close as you can. Yeah, I'll give Election Year an A. I prefer it, actually, to Anarchy. It's kind of sillier in a lot of ways, but I was just behind it. Anarchy kind of stabilized the boat after the first one, which is just silliness, wasting the concept, really. And then I thought 3 actually improved on it. I don't like some things about it, but like I do feel like it's the best all-round one. I think the first Purge is the worst all-round one, honestly. Yeah, not behind the first Purge at all. I thought it was bad. And then the Forever Purge, I kind of thought in the middle. Neatly in the middle. Yeah, we've got them on 5 different tiers there. Probably generous, really. There's not that much difference between some of them, but yeah, I think that's about right. This is the 2018 Halloween. I don't actually know if I have the 2007 one on. Oh. That was one I missed, actually. I probably should have put that on. 2018 one I enjoyed. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as much a horror film as like a thriller, really. But I enjoyed it. I'll give it a B. I thought it was just a well-done take on kind of leaving everything behind and just picking up where... I'm pretty sure they only have like the original really as canon. Right? They have like 1978 straight to this then. Which is popular style for a lot of things to do recently. But I thought it worked well. I'm a little bit nervous about them doing 2 more after that, but it likely to at least still be fun enough, right? I'm worried about Halloween Kills. I'll go see it soon. Annihilation isn't much of a horror film. And it's not very good either. It was kind of all over the place, right? It was just silly, really. If you've never seen Dog Soldiers, when you look at the number of films that there are about vampires or zombies or anything like that, it's interesting to think that there's not actually that many werewolf films, you know? There's not that many. And Dog Soldiers, it's a good one. It's a good British horror film. It's not great. I'll give it a C. I do enjoy it, and I do enjoy rewatching it every so often. It's fun. It's fun, and it's kind of silly, and it's bordering on, like, parody. It is a lot of fun, though. I do enjoy it. Zombieland is a classic. It's just American Shaun of the Dead, but it was very well done. It is... I mean, you can't, right? I can't quite do it. I can't give it the S. I want to. I love Zombieland. I can't quite give it the S. No, I'll give it an A. I do like it a lot. Second one, actually, I thought was also a lot of fun. It's probably like a B. I don't think I have it on, but Mamma Mia live action cast. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, hell yeah, Mamma Mia live action cast. I like that. The Invisible Man is one of the best horror films. There's a full stop after that, in case you're wondering. I thought that was so good. Oh my goodness. Wow, 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 wow. It's so good. It's so good. If you haven't seen that, it is amazing. That's another one that nailed social issue drama mixed with horror. For me, I thought it nailed it. That's incredible. That's an amazing film. Terrifying. Really, really scary. Really shocks you as you go through it. Like, god damn. The Boy was a kind of stupid idea that I kind of enjoyed. To the tune of like a C. Bram's The Boy 2 is an F. It's awful. Oh god, it's awful. Oh, When a Stranger Calls, as well, is one that I enjoyed when I first saw it because I was like 12. This is like that time, like horror films from like 2007, 2008. A lot of like J-horror remakes in there. It was something that I kind of... It was my induction into the horror genre, which I would later love. And, you know, I love the horror genre now. So watching When a Stranger Calls, this is the American version, for the first time, I was like, oh, goddamn, so scary. Oh, goddamn, so interesting. And as I rewatch it more and more, I hate it more and more. Yeah. Blumhouse's Fantasy Island is an F. Terrible film. Oh, Truth or Dare, an F. Terrible film. These are awful films. These are nightmare films. Both star Lucy Hale. Yeah, interestingly. And both were made by Blumhouse, I believe. I think Lucy Hale is a terrible actress. Generally. I think those films are awful. Yeah. I'm not going to say she's a terrible actress so much as she gets cast in bad things where she is also quite bad. Maybe just phoning it in. I don't know. But wow, yeah, I really dislike both of those. I think they're terrible. God. Prom Night... Was there... I think that this is a remake, right? Yeah. Brittany Snow in this one. Another one that was like... It was on my sister's shelves of DVDs. And I'd go in and she'd let me take one at a time. When I was like 12. And I'd take When a Stranger Calls. I'd take things like Dead Silence. I'd take... Ooh, what else? Things like The Wrong Turns she had as well and stuff like that. There were a lot of these. And now looking back on any of them, rewatching any of them, they're mostly terrible. Prom Night, it's kind of better than some, I think. I don't think it's completely terrible. It's pretty garbage, but it's maybe like still a D. I think it holds up better than some of the other ones. Ouija, the bad movie. That's a bad movie. Ouija Origin of Evil, really randomly, they then made a prequel 2 years later after that gobshite, and they got Mike Flanagan to direct it. And it is a lot better. It's not one of his best, but it's a lot better. It's like a B. It's quite an enjoyable film, actually. It's very well done. I'm a Mike Flanagan fanboy. I'll admit it. I can admit that to myself. Oh, look, that Mike Flanagan film, Doctor Sleep. I don't like the Shining film, okay? I really don't like it, but I always loved the Shining book. I want to see Mike Flanagan remake, or just make every Stephen King book into a film, because he's one of the few people who's got it right multiple times. He did, I didn't actually put it on this list, Gerald's Game. You can watch that on Netflix. Very good. Very good adaptation of a Stephen King book that's not as well known as some others. But then he did Dr. Sleep, the Shining sequel book that Stephen King wrote. And it is one of the best horror films. Full stop. I think it's so good. I would love to see him take on The Shining as a remake. I think he would nail it in a way that I would really love when I hate the original Shining. I think he would nail it in a way that Stephen King would love, you know? Because Stephen King doesn't like Stanley Kubrick's Shining. I just don't like Stanley Kubrick, though. Whoops. But we don't have to talk about him. It's 21st century stuff. The Fog 2005 version is bad. Yep. Crimson Peak is weird. Guillermo del Toro is weird. Oh, Wicked live action fancast. Scooby-Doo 2002 is better than Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. Pretty close for me, I'd say. I enjoy both. Crimson Peak is okay. I didn't think it was great. It's kind of a C. And there we have it. Wow. Whew. It was only about an hour 15. You know what? We really flew through those. We went quick. We went faster than one a minute. Which is quite speedy for these. But yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. I feel like we've done pretty well there, you know? I feel like we didn't anger anybody in the comments too much. And yeah, you know what? I have, there's a lot of bad horror films out there. And The Velocipaster, which I could put on S or F. It wants to be on F. That's why I put it there. But realistically, I'd put it on like an A. Because I love it. I think it's so funny. Yeah, there's a lot of bad horror movies these days. But you know what? I think this shows as many of them come out, especially like Netflix made ones or TV ones or whatever. Just a lot of ones, really. As many horrible ones as there are out there. There's also quite a lot of good stuff that's happened in 21st century horror, you know? Look at this. It's pretty good stuff. Pretty impressive, honestly. Pretty good list, but I just disagree with the placement of Jeepers Creepers. I thought you might. But that's fair enough. Everybody's got their own opinions, and we respect most of them on this channel. Mostly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that. And I've enjoyed doing like horror-themed tier lists. We will get into some Christmas-themed ones, I'm sure, sooner or later. But we'll kind of go back to regular for a few weeks. You know, we'll try and hold myself out to December before I do too much Christmas-based content, because I'd just do too much then. Pirates of Pens and live action cast. Wow, these are a lot of interesting like musical ideas. I haven't done that many musicals as a fan cast, but there's a lot to be done for sure. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you for. I'll be on most days this week. I'm hoping. I'll either tomorrow or Thursday. I'm hoping to do The Forest. Maybe get it finished before Halloween. That'd be cool. And I'm hoping to get another chance soon to do Pokemon Red, because we're very close to be done with that as well. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you later, and there'll be another review out probably later tonight if you're interested, and June review out tomorrow, I think. Hell yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.